I'm back for the last one of the trilogy in SmackDown vs RAW 2011. This was a great game! As bad as 2010 was, let's be face it, I already mentioned this twice. And I don't want to sound like a broken record, but from the years 2010 to 2015, I was just like not into it. But this was a great game actually, and just like this came out in 2010 in October, just like the last one did, um, but like the last game, this starts out with a tutorial mode, and like I said, they changed the controls again from this time around. Instead of hitting down to pin somebody, it's circle this time around, and it's not gonna have any until it's well, I'm not gonna talk about it right now. Um, they have the same matches, like the Royal Rumble's the same as last year's. Championship Scramble's the same thing, and they had a new arena which I'll talk about in the Road to WrestleMania. So let's not talk about that yet. Creations are still the same. The story designer and the rest is still the same. They're um um they improve on the Hell in a Cell and the TLC matches because they changed the format. Just it's you can now have weapons in the Hell in a Cell in a SmackDown vs Raw game. And the TLC is actually you can break tails as much as you want. And and yeah. Uh there's a universe mode which is okay, I guess. It's just away from the career mode. And the game is actually more fun in this time around. Now the road to let's now and the dragon is different. It's hold L2 and you could do that, including like you do an Inferno match. So yeah. Um yeah, let's talk about the road to WrestleMania. I know it's been 2 minutes so far, and I'm already at the main story mode, but let's talk about each road to WrestleMania. So Jericho's, who by the way returned tonight on New Year's Smash, whatever, is arguing about he should be the WWE Championship against Triple H, and then you have to feud with Kofi for the Rumble, and then you took out Big Show, and then Steffi said I had Randy Orton, and Chris Jericho like us, like what? Like, oh god, I know Triple H Randy Orton match, but thankfully that's not happening in the game in Europe Road to WrestleMania. So yeah, you got that's a must-win match for you. You have to win that match. There's different well, you have challenge matches this time around. So yeah, like you face Miz on or Santino Marella, Cena. There's like I think 5. I'm not gonna talk about every challenge match. Yeah. So and then like let's skip like yeah, and then you get choked out by Big Show, and says he wants a match with you, and yeah, and then the next week you steal the WWE Championship from Triple H, pulling in a Guerrero. Yeah. And yeah, you steal the WWE Championship, pulling in a Guerrero and running away from Triple H, to you facing Shawn Michaels at on Raw. And then you have to face Vince gave you the shot against Triple H at Elimination Chamber. Again, they always had to go backwards in pay-per-view stages. Like, they was mostly on 9s and only 3 2010 arenas. But instead of, it's just you and Triple H. Instead, it's a elimination challenge between you and Triple H, Swagger, Orton, Big Show, and for some reason John Cena. You win the WWE Championship. and then you're still continuing defeating your Triple H, and Jericho says, you have to get him the 12-hour count out, and then you have to take him out by hitting him, putting Triple H through the Geritron 5000, like he did to Shawn Michaels in 2008. And then you and Triple H face up against Hell in Cell at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. And yeah. And it's still ends with you getting Luke on the floor and Triple H still getting his heat back. Anyways, next is I'm gonna go with Christians this time around. You start off in the ECW brand, and then you get traded to the SmackDown brand. By the way, SmackDown Vs 2009 was the last year to have the ECW featuring, because there's no ECW featuring this time around because the ECW brand was dead, thank God. Unfortunately, I had to be in 2008 to relive that horrible reboot. Christians, you start off on ECW, but then you get traded to SmackDown for some reason, and Royal Rumble was your last match as an ECW superstar. Okay. And then you and Edge reunite their team, which is and then you win Money in the Bank at the Elimination Chamber pay for some reason, and then you get to choose who you want to cash in, Shawn Michaels or Edge. It doesn't matter which one. Well, the difference, because you face Shawn Michaels in a TLC match at WrestleMania, or Edge for the World Heavyweight Championship in a TLC match. So yeah, the Christian one was really funny. Let's be honest. Breaking the fourth wall. You see that weirdo in the back there, the TV, staring at us through the TV? Yeah, and I'm saving one for last because it's the best one. I'm gonna say that one. Anyways, next we'll talk about Rey Mysterio's. You lost your memory. Oh God, I know. Yeah, it's like in most of the those episodes where somebody lost their memory, but then they found out who did it. Yeah, and anyways, you win the Royal Rumble with Rey Mysterio, and you're buddy up with Jack Swagger, who he had to go SmackDown at the time in 2010, but that was after WrestleMania when he won the. Well, I'll talk. Well, we already know his terrible world championship reign, but whatever. And then Bourne took him out and take his entrant number, and you had to eliminate him to win the. It doesn't. You win the Royal Rumble regardless, but then all of a sudden you're facing Edge the next week or whatever. You win that. You win that fatal 4-way ladder match, and then to face World Heavyweight Champion CM Punk. Okay. Yeah, whatever. Punk gets the World Champion, it doesn't matter. He was not the World Heavyweight Championship at the time. But whatever, it's just a video game. They already had to change up the belt holders. This is just a story mode, whatever. Also, this has Rob Van Dam in it, but he was in TNA at this time. Okay? And the only difference in the WrestleMania match, you face Evan Bourne Falls County match at WrestleMania for the World Heavyweight Championship. And then soon after, you have to face Swagger for it. But on the good side, that's the evil side. And on the good side, you face Jack Swagger at WrestleMania for the World Heavyweight Championship. And then it is like that. Ray was just decent. John Cena is up next. This was actually not bad. Instead of you and MVP being rivals, you and MVP becomes friends. Video game logic doesn't make sense. Whatever. And you beat MVP in that #1 contenders match to become the WWE Championship, which is held by Randy Orton. And it was accurate at the time but whatever. Instead, Orton has a restraining order against Cena and MVP, and MVP wants to Rumble and then Randy Orton becomes the GM of for Raw. My bad, not SmackDown, Raw. that's the second two. That's the first of two times he was a GM in a video game. You know what the other game is? Yes, 2K20. I already reviewed that game. Let's not talk about that dumpster fire. And then Orin played a fake video of that, and it caused you and MVP's friendship to implode. And you and MVP fought in a last-minute standing match with the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, and then, but it doesn't matter at the end anyways, because you, MVP, and Orton face off in a triple threat match at WrestleMania. But then on the Raw, Orton has to tell one of you to hit each other with a chair. That's how this whole triple threat match came about. So yeah, and then Orton gets let go of Raw general manager. And now let's get to the last story of the Road to WrestleMania. The Undertaker one. Instead of playing as The Undertaker, you have to play as either a career wrestler, which it's off, and then a bunch of mid-carders. Well, yeah. Like, whatever. It starts as a tournament where the Raw, SmackDown, and somebody's in ECW. It can be your character. She's just a career wrestler. You're obviously be your career wrestler. Jericho and fucking Vladimir Kozlov for some reason. Yeah, you think Vladimir Kozlov has a chance to face The Undertaker at WrestleMania? Yeah, no. But that match ended in a no contest because Undertaker comes in and just beat up Jericho, and then all of a sudden the match stopped. And then it comes a ladder match for the shot at the who gets to face The Undertaker. And then it gets actually interesting after the Royal Rumble. That first month was kinda but the next part, Undertaker plays mind games with you. With the whole flickering of the screen. And the Druid Arena, which is actually a really cool arena to play in. And you face Shawn Michaels at Elimination Chamber in a 5-star match. Yeah, that's a match. All you do is do the tail thing and do 2 finishers and 2 signatures, and then that's how you win that match. And then Paul Bearer, play games with you. He make you face Undertaker's past WrestleMania opponents like Jimmy Snuka and Jake Roberts, and Mass Kane, which Kane wants you to grab an urn and collect all these souls, and it ends up being his old self. But the one nitpick I have, his mask mouth moves for some reason. And then at WrestleMania you face The Undertaker, and he's way harder than most of the opponents you face. Well, maybe it's like but that to me is a great road to WrestleMania. So there, that's it. This was a very great game. It's the second best game of the trilogy, behind 07's. I give it a 9 out of 10. The only con I have of this game is the dragons, the controls. Yeah, the controls are the con of the game. But the good things, the creation suite was good. The Road to WrestleMania was actually great until 12, which that'll be a future review. And yeah, rest was good. I enjoy the Road to WrestleMania, especially the Undertakers and Jericho's again. And yeah, that's it. Now the next trilogy I'm going to talk about is the Nicktoons trilogy. From the first one, which is Nicktoons United to Battle Volcano Island, and Attack of the 25, which I managed to beat this year, and Gloves of Doom. But we'll talk about that next month. But the next game I'm going to talk about, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, the Simpsons game. Well, oh boy, that's going to be a fun one to talk about. That's a really hard game. But, yeah. Bye. And then it'll be my top 10 best and worst matches of this year. Bye.